So
Please don't put that on there.
This camera right here, right?
Seriously, that's like...
It's not my decision, it's John's.
He won't put that on.
Maybe.
He won't. I hope not. I'm a children's... Can't do that.
Heard my name.
The whole front end and banter definitely put it on.
No, because it's me being me. It's worse than TB.
All right. Are we ready to start this podcast?
Yes.
All righty.
Okay, ready?
Welcome to the Gathering Greenhouse,
a place to help us...
A place to help us grow together. It's not a podcast to help us grow together?
It is. I think. Is it? Is it a place or a podcast?
I think podcast.
Oh,
So my bad.
I was right.
My bad.
A podcast to help us grow together. My name is Andrew.
And I'm Rebecca.
So we're glad that you guys are joining us for the podcast today. You may be wondering why we have all these sauces and seasonings in front of us.
And it's in honor of Andrew's sermon yesterday.
Yeah. So
about being salty and lit.
Yeah, we talked about being the salt and light. So I was like, hey, I texted and told you last week, bring some of your favorite seasonings.
Yeah.
And some of your favorite sauces for us to do a little taste test here.
Yay,
so
lucky you guys.
do you want to go through some of your seasonings?
Yeah, I know you're a big cook too. I'm a cook, and I brought kind of the basic stuff and then one fun one.
Kind of. I mean, like on the smoker and barbecue more than anything.
That counts though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like usually I tell Sam like, hey, I'll cook, like I want to do one meal like just me by myself a week. And so I tell her to get the ingredients and stuff like that. This last week I was going to try chicken parmesan from scratch. Like,
wow, I would have been so impressed.
Do the chicken cutlets and all that stuff. But we ended up having people in town and not being able to do it. So
well, there's always next week.
There's always next week.
Cook twice next week for Sam.
Twice next week for Sam.
You can do this.
No, we cook together most nights.
It's a team effort.
It's a team effort. Like
we do too now. I used to do most of it.
And trying to keep the kids out of the kitchen.
I'm telling you that if you can cook with nobody else in the kitchen,
it's a dream, especially with like the twins, because they're always like coming in like, hold me, and I'm like sitting here with like a frying pan, like hold me.
You gotta hold him way out here so you can stir the pot.
Yeah,
you know.
I help. I want to help, like because they always want to help, and so
they're so cute.
Yeah. So anyways, what kind of seasonings did you bring?
So
we got Lay's chips if we want to try any of these today.
I think I brought some of the basic things, being a Cajun, I have a lot of Cajun stuff, but this is like the granddaddy of all Cajun spices, which is Tony Chachere's, which we all call Uncle Tony's.
That's so much easier because I don't know how to say the last.
Yeah, everyone uses it, and now they make it with no salt, which is nice. Which Christians, we don't want to be saltless, but
I was to say, I mean, what do you mean?
But it's the best. It's like the most basic
salt.
It has no salt, but I'm telling you don't need it. It's so good. We got all these heart patients at our house. We got to keep.
Oh yeah, I got to keep the salt down. See, I probably need this too, but I'm like,
it's great. You can get it at Jungle Jim's.
So you're saying this is just as good without the salt?
It really is. Okay. Like it's good, but it is spicy a little bit. Okay. So you got to be careful how much you put in there.
And this is one I want to try.
You do. You want to do it now?
Oh, this one right here.
Oh yeah, okay. So this is Cavender's seasoning, and it's Greek seasoning, and we use this on everything. It's awesome in scrambled eggs, like really good in scrambled eggs.
Okay.
And on potatoes, like mashed potatoes.
I'm going for it now.
Baked potatoes.
They're gonna have to clean this table off because I just now realized
we have no plate. Neanderthals.
Dusting this. All right, is that enough? You think?
Yeah.
All right, let's try
it's salty.
Oh, we gotta dink it and sink it.
Yeah, we do. Of course we do. I can't get it. There you go.
Here we go. Dink it.
Dink.
Sink it.
Sink it. Isn't that good?
That is really good.
It's good on steak too.
I like it. It's a tantalizing taste treat.
It's tantalizing.
Tantalizing taste treat. That is really good. And you said you get that at...
You can get it. I don't know. Kroger sometimes will sporadically have it. We can get everything else at Jungle Jim's or mail order it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
try one of yours.
Jungle Jim's is the best.
It is. It's fun. Like it's a fun place to go.
If you're not anywhere near Cincinnati... Like if you're in Cincinnati, visit Jungle Jim's.
Yeah, it's neat. You take your kids, and there's a giant soup can swinging on a.
I like the cheese. Like the cheese is great. It smells so good walking through that cheese aisle with all those different cheeses.
And there's like a giant. What is that thing? That Elvis thing? Is it a gorilla? What is that thing? You know what I mean?
So. I think it is.
But it's neat. All the kids love it.
It's been a while since I've been there.
You take the kids, they'll love it.
I had a friend who was a produce manager for a long time. And he would love to go there. He's like, oh, they got this kind of produce here. And I'm like, dude, you're such a nerd right now with like produce.
You walk through there and you have no idea what you're looking at. It's like, what is this? It's like, it's neat. Like if you ever need some weird ingredient, there it is.
At Jungle Gyms.
Yeah, you should do one of yours.
All right, I'll do mine. So I'm kind of a fanboy because I brought 3 from the same place. Meat Church Barbecue.
Meat Church.
Now, I mean, like obviously cooking like garlic salt, garlic powder, pepper, Italian seasoning, like just the normal seasoning. But these are like the store bought like seasoning.
The blends, yeah.
One of my favorite ones is this Texas Sugar by Meat Church Barbecue. This literally like goes on just about anything, and it seems like it's gonna be sweet, but it actually has a little bit of a spice and kick to it.
It definitely smells spicy.
I like this one a lot, and so if you want to try it, you can use that one. You want to try this one?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. You go first.
You have to try something called sweet. Is it called?
Texas Sugar
Barbecue.
Texas Sugar.
Texas Sugar.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a mess.
We are. I think.
Oh, crap. Do you want some of this? Here.
Oh yeah, here. Share some of your.
There.
There we go. Dang it. Wow, you got
That's
a lot.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
All right, here we go.
That is good.
There's a
messy.
sweet heat to it.
That's yummy.
I like this.
Like it's got sugar, sugar,
pepper, and different spices.
That's
it's
good.
like a sweet heat.
I love that.
This is what I use for all steaks and burgers right here.
Oh, it has a back bite.
It does. It does. It'll hit you. We're not even to the hot sauces yet. You know?
Well, if you put a ton on it.
I'm also, your chip was a little loaded. But holy cow, really good. A lot of pepper because, you want pepper with the steaks. And then this stuff right here. This stuff right here is so good. If you know Meat Church, this is like their thing. And I don't know if I even should show this on a church thing, but it's called Holy Voodoo.
Well, we got to try that.
It's so good. Like
is
eggs,
it hot?
Popcorn.
Is it hot?
No, it's not. It's not. No. I actually think this is more spicy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more spicy.
Here we go again. I got enough.
Here, you want to share some?
Dink.
All right, dink it. Sink it.
That's good too.
I do this on wings.
I can see why you would.
Like I put this on wings and then put it on the.
Tried that.
That's good.
On wings,
and then put it on the
Jeff
kettle.
would like that.
Yeah. So I mean, Meat Church Barbecue down in Texas, they do a lot of. He's really big into barbecue. He actually is at the Dallas Cowboys games a lot, actually on TV now too. But they do good seasoning. So I'm a little bit boring because I brought 3 of the same.
That's not boring. They're all so different.
Yeah.
Do you want to try this stuff? It's called Sweet Heat Funk, and it's from I think Pope, Mississippi. Is where we looked at.
I want to try some sweet.
This is from my brother-in-law Stacy, who gave us this.
And where is he from? Memphis.
He's from Olive Branch, Mississippi.
Oh.
And he talks just like that.
I can talk
He
like
calls
that
me
sometimes.
Becky.
Becky? I always said we should call you Becky from the Bayou.
Well, that's my youth group gave me that rapper name. Becky from the Bayou.
Becky from the Bayou.
It's actually Lil Becky from the Bayou.
Look at that. There's okay.
Lil Becky from the Bayou.
I should never have told you guys that.
That's really good. I feel like I got all these seasonings in my mouth. That
we probably can't taste anything now.
There's just heat right now.
That's pretty good, yeah. I think my favorite is this first one, the sugar. It's good.
And you can see I use this one a lot. I mean,
I see.
I use that a lot. I mean, it's good on all kinds of meats and stuff. So now the sauces. The sauce. So I always have 2 hot sauces in my fridge. And I'll have different ones. Like right now I have like this peach and Vidalia onion one.
Fancy.
I didn't bring so I always find random ones, but there's always 2 that are always there. And it's these 2 right here. So you got, Sticker Mule?
Yeah.
The company that makes stickers. They make this sauce. It's called Mule Sauce. And it's so good. Like it's got Scotch bonnet in it. So it's a little fruity and hot.
Okay. Is it going to burn my mouth?
I don't think it's too bad. But then my second one, I have bottles of this, but since I go here every week, I have packets always, is the Skyline hot sauce.
That's good hot sauce.
In my opinion, this is the best hot sauce ever made right
Yeah,
there.
it's
we
pretty
don't need to try
darn good.
that one. We know that one.
Do you, when you eat the crackers there, do you pour the hot sauce in the cold?
The cracker
That's the
bomb.
best. Yeah.
Especially when the cracker has a
you do this? It's
little
the best.
hole in the top, so you just fill it with a. All right, here we go. Oh, there you go. And I'll let you.
Got the burnt chip. That's all I'm putting.
It's not too bad. There's a sweetness at the front.
It is fruity. I know what you're saying.
There's a little bit of a sweetness.
It's hot.
and then it warms
But
up.
it's good.
Like
it's not ridiculous.
That's good on tacos. I'd put that on tacos. Do you have different sauces that you use for different foods?
Oh, we have so many sauces in our fridge. It's ridiculous. We have probably, I'd say we have like 5 bottles of whatever open of just like sauce, not necessarily hot sauce. And then we always have like 4 different kinds of hot sauce. And people are picky in my house about hot sauce. Well, I eat this with this hot sauce.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, there's certain things that you need certain hot sauces for.
We have a lot of stuff.
We do Skyline once a week at home too. So
You
the
do.
Skyline always
Look at
gets
this.
used.
Look at this mess.
That's all right.
It looks like we've been to the beach. It's like, you know. And you want to try it. So this, I have to give kudos to my dad on this. So, you know, I'm from Louisiana, of course, and my family's from very close to where Tabasco was made.
Which this is, to me, this is a lot like Skyline hot sauce.
It is a lot.
Tabasco
I almost
Skyline.
wonder if they have some kind of association with each other. But anyway, this is just the plain Tabasco, but we've had all the kinds.
So good.
Yeah, it's so
Even
good.
like
You've had it.
Chipotle, man, just like this, like I always take a bottle back and just dump it on my burrito.
This is kind of like what I use when I cook. Like if I want it to be a little bit spicy, I use this. It has a ton of cayenne in it.
Oh, yeah.
But if I want to just put it on something and I'm a little bit wimpy, I use this Louisiana stuff, which is kind of sweet.
I don't know if I've actually had Louisiana.
Well, you know,
hot
I made
sauce.
fun of this. My dad was using it, actually. I made fun of it. I was like, Dad, why are you using that when you can get Tabasco? You know, we're from Cajuns. And he's like, it's good. And I tried it. I was like, oh, it is good. How about that?
You're right. It is
Yes,
good.
he was mad about it. And it's not
He was
expensive.
mad about you questioning his hot sauces.
You know.
Oh!
Now we got water for our beach. Do you
Well, now-
want some of this?
yeah.
Here.
There you go. Are you gonna be able to eat that?
Oh yeah, it's not real hot.
Okay, here we go. Thank
Yeah.
it. Thank it.
See, that's just kind of basic and sweet. It's pretty good.
I do like that. I see. The thing is like I like that more than like Frank's. Like
Yeah.
everyone always has Frank's or Texas Pete. It seems like, and I'll use them. Like that's the only choice. But like I like that.
This is cheap too. Even up here, it's cheap, and I love it. So kudos to Dad.
Gotta love cheap, you know.
You guys want to know a fun fact?
Fun
Sure.
fact, Matt, go.
The Skyline hot sauce has Tabasco in it.
There you go.
I'll say it makes sense.
I wonder if they use like watered down Tabasco.
I wonder what they add to it. Like what the Skyline
Yeah.
make it
They
different.
add another, I believe it's a cayenne pepper.
Well,
This
Tabasco
is-
has cayenne, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a bunch of
think-
it. That's why I like it.
I think they add more and
vinegar,
and
pepper,
that's why
salt.
Skylines is a little bit hot.
I'll say Skyline is a little bit spicier than Tabasco.
It is.
It is.
They do. Maybe they just jazz it up with more cayenne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, we brought the
It's
same
good.
sauce, you know?
If you ever get a chance to go to the Tabasco plant, it's neat. You go to Avery Island.
Oh, your eyes just like burning the whole time. You're like, this is so much fun.
They like you can see them making it, you know, like through the window. It's neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, I'm like also like 4 days off of a cold. I don't even know how I was able to talk yesterday, but
Grace of God. That's
grace
how you
of
can
God,
talk.
because today,
Yeah.
like my voice is so much worse than yesterday. It's probably because I did 3 services yesterday.
Well, you
but-
just ate about a hot sauce.
and it's helping right now. It's helping like opening up the sinuses.
burn in the back of your throat.
Let me
though,
just
as it goes
take
down.
a whiff of one of these real quick.
That's what I did earlier. I don't advise it.
One time, this is just a side story. One of my friend's little brothers, like we got him somehow to snort pepper one time because we told him, like I forget what we told him, but I remember like he's like, oh yeah, and snorted it, and we got in so much trouble because he ran back and his like nose was just like bleeding.
Baby, I bet it
I'll
was.
tell you get younger brothers to do dumb things sometimes.
Matt, did you ever do the cinnamon challenge? You know, you put the cinnamon. Did you ever do it?
No.
Jeff
I was
did it
old
once.
at that point. Who did?
Jeff did.
Did he?
It was terrible. I was
Your
like,
husband, by the way, Jeff.
Yes.
Her husband.
It's because his cousins came over like, you can be a man, do the cinnamon challenge. So we did it. And they were like drinking eggs, like, you know, cracking eggs, drinking eggs.
Raw eggs?
Yeah.
I did that
They're
once.
nuts.
I did that
There's
once.
no way I'd
Me
do
and my
that.
friend watch Rocky. And what's funny is he's allergic to eggs.
Uh-huh.
He's like, Andrew, you should try that. And like, he obviously couldn't do it. So like,
He wanted to live vicariously.
yeah, so there's a video of me like just like chugging this glass of raw eggs. It's not that bad, actually.
Sounds gross.
It's not that bad.
Ugh.
I mean, besides maybe getting sick, possibly.
Just barfing up.
What's the possibility of getting sick? Because you see these guys do that all the time.
Depends on what's like if the egg's contaminated, you know, with whatever.
Which, by the way, have you ever had
Salmonella, is it?
eggs that had like burst blood vessels. Like when you open it up,
gross.
it's the worst thing in the world. Because then I'm like, I don't want to eat eggs anymore. Like my appetite was just ruined. So
it's very visceral. No thanks.
So raw eggs can contain salmonella.
yeah.
But it's about 1 in every 20,000 eggs.
Oh, there you go. That's a 1 in 20,000 shot. You're going to get salmonella poisoning.
I can like eat like
cookie
cake
dough.
batter and cookie dough.
I'll take that chance. 1 out of 20,000.
I think I will now. I like that
that's
number.
a pretty good chance.
If that's accurate.
At first, I thought you were going to say 1 in 20. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like that's like 1 egg out of every dozen almost.
Yeah.
Hit lottery then
Yeah.
at that point.
You get really lucky. So, are we glad though that we live in a time with all these seasonings and flavor?
It's definitely not boring
Yeah.
in the seasoning aisle.
So you have something coming up here to talk about.
I do.
Easter archaeology.
Yeah.
It's the second time you've done it.
Yeah.
And I always love it because it just makes me think of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like looking for the Ark of the Covenant or
Yeah, that was a scary movie.
that one?
Yeah, that was scary.
That was the first one, right?
I don't know.
The second one's the Temple of Doom, which was like scared me as a kid.
Is that the one where you go, they're underground in the mines?
Yes.
That one? Yeah.
And the third one is where they're looking for the goblet, the
Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I love those movies. I always think of the big ball, chase him down the hall. But Easter archaeology is like we're going to look at, the whole point of Easter archaeology is to make Jesus more real to kids. Like Jesus was here in this spot, and a lot of it with this is most probably he was here with this spot. So when I write these archaeology things, which is the second one, it's so interesting and it's a hardcore research project, because you have to make sure that what you're telling the kids is correct. You don't be lying to the babies.
You're like, oh yeah, this is definitely this is accurate.
100% right here.
I mean,
is
there
the
are kids
one.
that believe you, right?
Yeah, well, they would.
That's like the dangerous
abuse
thing.
of your
You know
privilege.
what makes Easter archaeology even more fun?
What?
Is if you give every kid a whip as they walked in.
Only if you're in charge.
That'd be so much fun.
You ready?
There's kids out there just whipping around.
Only a youth minister would say, just give them all whips.
Yeah, just give them all whips as they walk in. And there you go, a shovel and a cool hat. 1 year, what would be really cool is if you buried something.
And make them go find it.
Make them go find it.
Metal detectors.
Or like metal detectors.
That would
and
be
they're
awesome, actually.
A bunch of kids just making a bunch
idea.
of holes out there.
In the gravel.
It looks like the movie holes where they're all having to dig a hole every day.
You know what happened? There'd be some kid that digs himself in this deep, and I'd be like, you got to come out.
Yeah, I didn't bury it that deep.
Yes.
If you get more than this far into the ground, that's about as far as I'm going.
Yes. So this time we're going to talk about Caiaphas's house.
Yeah.
Which I learned. I'm like, I didn't even know that we, knew where Caiaphas's house probably is. And Caiaphas was one of the high priests that participated, unfortunately, in that persecution of Jesus. Well, we knew he was arrested. That's where he went. He went to Caiaphas's house. And there's a couple of fascinating things I'm fascinated with that I find out when I research this. And there's actually a set of stairs. That's why there's stairs on the graphics. Is there's a set of stairs that Jesus very, very probably walked on, and it's still there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had no idea about this set of stairs. I'm a dork, so I read a lot about. I like to get updates on archaeology when the people discover them. But I'm like, these stairs, I'm absolutely fascinated.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
He very probably walked on those exact set of stairs.
What is that walk that the Catholic Church did over there? What's it called?
I don't know.
There's like a Stations of the Cross type
Kind of thing, yeah.
There's a video of one of the groups over there that did it really well. And obviously some of those things, like, you just got to take it with a grain of salt. Because it's like, oh, this is the rock that Jesus prayed on in the garden. Like,
there's a lot
how do you
of
know that? Is there a picture evidence? So, there was no, so you got to take some of that with a grain of salt. But to know, like, well, this is the general area. And then all of a sudden it just becomes real because it's like, yes, like, we always know that this happened, but then to actually see, like, this is where he probably came in on Palm Sunday, and this is where he went up on the Mount of Olives and stuff like that. So I mean, it's really cool, and so I think even as kids, like, because they have their imagination is so much broader than adults are, to then be like, these stories that we've been teaching you for a long time, now you have like, you can see like actual like stuff.
And that's the whole point of Easter archaeology.
Because in our minds, we picture those things, and I probably picture it in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Like, you know, things happening. Like, they're just in a desert the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, I never even thought of stairs.
Everywhere.
Like, I never even thought of stairs. I figured they're just hiking up the side of the mountain, you know?
Yeah.
But there are these stairs. And I think the stairs are my favorite thing I've ever, like, discovered, like, I didn't realize, you know? Because that's, like so
stairs into
tangible.
his house?
No, it's like these stairs, and they come from when he was going down to the Garden of Gethsemane.
Okay, yeah, I know
like
exactly what you're talking about from that video.
And I'm like, that's crazy.
Because there's only one set of stairs to get down into the garden and back up. So it's like,
and then he would have had to go by Caiaphas's house on the way up.
Yeah.
So he went to both down them and up them. And I think the kids are going to be fascinated by that. We'll see.
That'd be cool.
It might just me being a massive dork, but no, that's okay too.
So it's on what date?
It's on the 24th, and it's going to be after church until 2:30. So the kids will stay in place in the kids pod, and then we'll hold on to them until 2:30. We'll feed them lunch, of course, and they're just going to do a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, and they can just keep their kids there as long as they want, right? Just
2:30 is the pickup time.
That's a dead pickup time.
Yes,
please
come at 2:30.
For our kids, maybe like you were a little loosey goosey.
About 3 hours
4
later,
o'clock maybe.
5:30.
Go out to dinner. Come back. Hey, thanks for watching our kids.
2:30 is the time to pick them up.
No, definitely bring your kids. I've seen Rebecca working on this, and it looks like it's going to be awesome. So bring your kids to that for sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
But for me, I just want to real quick just piggyback off what I talked about yesterday too with our Youth Momentum Conference. Mm-hmm. You guys have 4 more days until the price goes up $100. So if you want your student to go to this, actually, by the time this airs, this is when Wednesday that comes up. So that's in 2 days. You guys got a day. This is the last day. Urgent. All right. I could put a siren right here. John, put an urgent. He's not actually going to do that. But sign your kids up for Youth Momentum Conference.
You should, because if you never went to a youth conference yourself or haven't sent your kids, it's a thing. Like the kids, this is where your kid is going to be able to engage with God on their own terms, their independent faith. And that's super important. Having been both as like just a parent sponsor and been as a youth minister too, like, what an impactful, awesome week these things are. Like, it really makes a difference in their faith. And a lot of kids will say, hey, that is my kind of like my New Year's Eve. I had a kid tell me that. Yeah. Like, this is kind of like my New Year's. I use this as a reset for my spiritual journey. Is not how he said it, but his name's Nick. He's this great kid.
And so many times you hear students give testimonies down the road. Like, that was the pivotal moment right there.
Yes.
That conference, that camp, that's where I felt God speaking to me personally for the first time. So, I mean, it is really important. And I mean, if we have enough come, you had mentioned that you might come with us too.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. I mean, who knows?
I
mean, that would be really cool.
I love conferences. Like, I love to be there. It's fun, especially youth conferences. It's got the music and if you're worried about safety, I may be overspeaking here.
No, you're good.
If you're worried about safety, don't worry about it. Like, everyone on the campus will know that there's kids there, and you know, I know you keep them safe. I'm sending my kid whether I go or not, so that shows that's a lot of trust for me.
No, there's no promise that you're going. I was just throwing that out there.
Oh, no,
there's a chance that the student men's squad could be, you know, both
family men.
What's our name? The Family Men's Squad?
We're the family ministry team, right?
Family ministry team? Yeah. That's boring. We should come up with something else.
We do need a better name. Matt?
Ask ChatGPT what's a good name
for our combined teen
student
and kid ministry
and family ministry team.
It's got to be cool, Matt.
Okay.
Hip. Gen Z's got a lot. Wait, what Gen?
It's Gen Alpha from me, right?
Yeah. Do I still have Gen Z?
I don't know. Do you? I definitely have Alpha.
I don't know, because now I have interns that are Gen Z.
Oh.
That are in college.
Maybe there's a Zalpha.
Zalpha. Gen Zalpha.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody says Gen Alpha.
I'll tell you, and it's different every single one. Like, it's crazy how ministry changes like over the years just because of the generations and the culture and different stuff.
It is, and if you're deliberately trying to keep up, you really have to stay on your toes.
Yeah,
you know,
you do.
Yeah, because ask
what
the
are you
old woman
saying
in the
right
office,
now?
like the Shaq thing. Should we bring that up? Who knew? Did you middle-aged people and older realize that Shaq, like Shaq the basketball player, the big guy with the feet and all that, is actually he's got huge feet. That's what reminds me. Yeah, and he sells shoes, right? It's like a big deal.
Shaq shoes.
Shaq shoes. See, I'm learning all kinds of things today. That dude is a DJ also, and it's like, hey, appearing on stage tonight as our main performance is Shaq.
Shaq Diesel.
Yeah, I thought they were jacking with me.
No.
It's really a thing.
It's a legit
So yeah, I learned
thing.
something today.
All right, Matt's got something for us.
What you got, Matt?
That GPT gave me 3.
All right.
2 of them are lame. I'm not going to even...
No, we
give us
want to
the
know.
lame
We want
ones.
to know.
Okay. The 2 lame ones are Harmony Haven
Harmony Haven. That's very clear what that is.
and Generations United.
Generations United. So
United.
they gotta be
But
like,
this cool one, Fam Unity.
Fam Unity. I think they're all
One word.
Fam
They're all
Unity.
named Fam
It's
Unity.
like community, but
Yeah.
fam.
But fam.
Fam Unity.
That's the
We're gonna get
only
fired.
mildly
You start
cool
calling-
one that chat.
That's where Chat GPT kind of fails sometimes. Of
It does,
like
they don't
not
get
being
it.
able to actually like come up with something.
Yeah.
I think you have to be like super particular, like almost like write out a paragraph of what you want before they can actually like come up with something good.
Something that makes
Otherwise,
sense.
it's going to be very generic.
We'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Now,
We'll make it awesome.
Now they just gave me 10 more.
10 more.
Yeah.
Pick the best.
Just pick the top 2 that you see there.
Family Forge is unique.
Family Forge.
We're forging.
Sounds like we're going to give kids weapons.
And Legacy Builders.
Legacy
Legacy builders.
I mean, legacy is a hot word right now in church. You know, there's some of those words like authenticity. And
I like the builders word.
Builders?
I like the builders. Yeah. Faith builders or something.
Faith builders?
That doesn't.
I like forge.
Legacy.
We're forging.
Faith forge.
Forging these kids to take their faith out
Forge
with
and family.
the spirit of the armor. The
armor, yeah.
Yeah.
The armor of
We're
God.
helping
That's
them.
what it's called.
That's right. We're helping them forge their armor of
Yeah.
God.
It's kind of like forged in fire
Yes.
that show, but forged.
I hate that show.
But forged in family.
Okay, let me talk about Forged and Fire real quick because you
Yeah.
hate that show because it's a very guy show.
The guts. Like, why
Well,
do we need the guts and the blood?
Here's what I like about it: when a guy gets cut, because you know how most like reality shows, like it's this big build up, dramatic, like, and the person leaving us now, and like shows like every single person, like build up music, and it's like 10 seconds later they say the name. Forged and Fire is like, yeah, it's Jim. Jim, sorry man, you're out. And he's like, all right, sounds good,
Yeah.
and like walks out. I'm like, that's such a dude show. Like, you don't need
Such a
the
dude
drama build up.
response.
It's just, hey, you're out.
All right, Jim, see ya.
You lost. Thank you for.
Your gut piercing weapon has failed.
Yep.
I like when they use it like on the pig carcasses.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
they
hate
those
it.
huge axes and
It's like revealing the Shaq thing. You know, I'm gonna get picked about that forever. My son torments me with that show because I'll walk by on the big screen, you know, and it'll be like, bleh, and the stuff will be gone.
awesome.
Look,
Awesome.
Mom. No
I
thanks,
was
kid.
like really into that show for like a 3-month period, and like I watched it every day. And Sam's like,
I
"Why are
don't
you
get it."
watching this?" I'm like, "It's awesome."
It will kill.
Yeah, it will kill.
I just wonder, I wonder what Freakazoid is like. You know what I'm gonna manufacture? I'm gonna make torsos that actually bleed. You know, that's gross.
Well, I mean, they use it for like ballistic testing too
Ugh.
for guns to see like how like the ammo like different
Go through there?
will go through
What's
and
it
like
made out of, though?
it's like it's some kind of gel that mimics human skin.
Huh.
And they even have like the torso, like the bones and organs and stuff like that, so they can see exactly what it does. And
I guess that's good.
we want to know exactly what this happens
Yeah.
here, so that we can get a real picture of what happens. All right, so sermon.
Sherman, I loved it.
Thanks.
I did. I loved the preservation aspect. I never really thought of it with that particular angle. So I was
The
like, oh
preservation.
yeah, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, as I was doing that, I was like, I would imagine that might be what he's like talking, like referring to as that's probably like one of the biggest like uses of salt, like the most important thing, because that's the only way that they could keep things from going bad.
Yeah.
is with salt because they didn't have fridges
That
or
makes sense.
freezers, so you know It's one of those things like Jesus most time doesn't exactly give you the answer.
Yeah, he lets you figure it out.
Lets you figure it out. And so then like for us, so many times we want to use it in our today context, which I think is sometimes
Still valid in
still
that case, yeah.
valid. But like we really need to look at like what did they hear? Because to them it could have been super clear. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the salt. Yep, I know what that means. And for us, we're like, what? Like, what does that, like, the salt mean?
Yeah. It
So-
would be easy to be flippant about that passage. You know, it's like sometimes you read things in there and you're like, oh yeah, heard this before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and just go through it.
But yeah, but every now and then, times when you're studying it, like you're about to teach it to somebody, that's a whole different level of looking at
Yeah.
which anybody can do. Anybody can look at
And the
text.
biggest thing to me was like where it went from the Beatitudes to that. Because like he finishes it and he says, you are the salt of the earth. I'm like, we just not like in my mind, I just never connect it sometimes where I'm like, you know, when he preached it, he didn't like stop in between and say like, all right, that side's done. Now I'm gonna move on to something else here. It's like, no, it was a sermon.
A flow,
so
connection.
Yeah. The thing, like he went through those Beatitudes, and at the end of it is like, you are the salt of the earth, and you are the light of the world.
Yeah, so then it becomes a directive now. Like now he's moved into like, hey, you got a job to do. So it's beautiful.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So salt.
Uh-huh.
If you were to like tell a bunch of people, like if you had a platform where every Christian got to hear you speak right now, and you had to give them a practical way that you could be the salt of like, what does that actually look like? And I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, it's okay.
It's a big question, but like if they're like, well, what does that mean practically? And speaking to disciples, not seekers, disciples, followers of Jesus, what is a practical way to be the salt of the earth?
The first thing I can think of is teach.
Yeah.
You know, like read it, figure it out for yourself, study it, teach it. Like, you know, if God calls you to teach.
Yeah.
I love to teach.
I do too.
Yeah. What about you? Like, what's your practical thing? You got to be thinking something.
Well, and it's easier for me because I studied this a lot. And so to me, it's if I had to like tell Christians, like one thing is like to stop being bitter, because that whole idea of like salt cuts out the bitterness. It's funny because me and Pastor David were talking afterwards, and he was like, I wonder if you put salt in coffee, if that helps cut out the bitterness. And he sent me an article last night of like where it's actually, like if you put salt in your coffee.
Job. Like,
I know, he's already doing it, right?
Yeah.
But the bitterness of like Christians have towards the world, where like, man, why are they acting that way? Why do they think that way? And we can just get bitter and like resentful towards the world. And I'm reminded where Paul is like, well, they don't have the Spirit. They don't know. We can't judge them. But we can hold each other accountable as followers of Jesus, because we do know. But like to them, it'd be like, hey, don't be so bitter towards them, but loving towards them.
Because they're your job, right? Because Jesus gets done with this and he says, you are the salt and the light.
Yeah.
Right. So that is a directive to me. Like, it's your job to go help those that are worldly.
Yeah.
And bring them into the fold. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So if you resent them and you're bitter toward them, how are you going to do that?
Right. Just because you're upset that they're not acting like you. Well, of course they're not acting
No,
like you.
of
And
course
of course
they're
they're not thinking like you.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to do sinful things, but to them, it's not sinful things.
Yeah.
And so I think that, and it's a problem for me too, because like you just get so frustrated because you're like, oh, you know, they think that way or vote that way or feel that way. And
when you get older, your mind is less elastic about that kind of thing. And you have to remind yourself, hey, chill. You know, like you know what I mean? Like just because you're getting more conservative doesn't mean everybody else is. And so it's a struggle to be like, okay, you have to know what's going on in the world. Right. Yeah. That's part of being the salt. You got to know what's going on in the world, because how are you going to respond to it if you can't relate to the people that you're trying to bring to Christ, you know, or well, Christ brings them to himself, but you're facilitating that. Yeah. Because that's how it works in God's economy. Like, we are responsible for bringing to other people.
Yeah, and the whole idea is that salt doesn't work unless it's making contact with the food.
Exactly.
So if we aren't making contact with the people of
like
the
this
world,
salt right here on the table.
It's good
That's
stuff.
bugging me under my hand. Ugh.
Good stuff right
yes,
there.
But yes, I think you did an awesome job as usual.
I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Well, is there anything else that you need to tell the people on the Greenhouse podcast where we all grow together?
Jesus loves you.
Jesus.
But he does.
Good job. Typical
but he
Sunday
does.
school.
Yes.
It's like, what's the answer? Jesus, the Bible.
Well, and the kids are teaching, which I don't teach much anymore because I'm busy job. But when I am teaching, I'll ask a question and I'm like, it's the Sunday school answer. And even the kids are like, Jesus. I'm like, that's right,
correct.
Kids. That's right, Jesus.
I always got to start them with the softball first. Like the Jesus question or the Bible or like, where can we learn about this? I was staring at you like,
come on, kids.
the Bible. Correct. Well, we're glad that you're joining us today, and go out and get some seasonings if you don't know these things. This is actually one that I'm going to go buy.
Yeah.
Like obviously I have these ones, but like the one that I tried that I like the most that I don't have is this one right here.
The Cavenders. And I think I like your sugar thing the
Texas
best.
sugar.
I think I need some of that. That's good.
All right.
Jeff
You
will
can
like
get it at Ace Hardware. They sell
you
all
can. No
meat
kidding.
church
Get
barbecue.
your spices at Ace Hardware.
At Ace Hardware, you can get all the meat church barbecue seasonings right there.
Yeah,
this is not sponsored. If you want to sponsor a show, send us a message.
For real. See what we can do for you.
All right. Well, we're glad you guys joined us. We'll see you guys later.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.